Welcome back to another episode of the Airgun Geeks Podcast. Today, we're excited to have Bill, Hatsan USA, Cecil Bays.
The legendary.
Cecil
Bays. Always a threat on the competition scene and an absolutely wonderful guy to sit and talk to. I was so happy to get a chance to get Cecil in front of our equipment and record his story. And before we get to that story, though, I do want to talk briefly about a product that I came across that I actually can really endorse wholeheartedly. As some of you may know, I am scorned in this world because I live in California, and we have some of the dumbest laws in the world that affect shooters of all kinds. It doesn't matter whether you're an air gunner or a firearms owner. In California, we've got stupid laws. Anyway, I have a lady who has a really bad problem with ground squirrels on her horse farm, and for those that don't know, ground squirrels create holes like gophers do.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're a threat to your horse, or your horses in her case. And you spent all this money. Horse care is really expensive. And it's a big investment for somebody to care and keep a horse. And for them to get a broken leg, typically it's the end of the road.
Wow.
You got to say bye to a pet that, horses are pretty long-lived. They have long relationships with their owners. And, it's hard for her. So she wants me to get rid of her ground squirrels, or at least keep their population in check. But she's very much against. She's very much against having lead used on her property, so I have to go non-lead for her.
Okay.
And honestly, most of the non-lead solutions don't give me the range that I need. The GTO pellets are crazy accurate. They're fantastic, but they're not going to give me the range.
Yeah, that is the issue with the non-lead.
So a few months ago, I reached out to Zahn, and he is a projectile creator from Eastern Europe of the highest order. This guy knows what the heck he's doing when it comes to projectiles. And he and I got to talking about his all-tin slugs.
Okay.
And I tried them in 177. And I have got to tell you, these things are crazy accurate.
Really?
They are ridiculously accurate.
Yeah, I remember you getting them. What? Really? Okay.
I don't recommend shooting steel with them. They're a little hard for that. They're going to wear your steel out way too fast. But you can stack them on a target if you've got the gun tuned correctly. However, I did find a fault with them, Pat. And
what's that?
This will probably play to your wheelhouse. Pat, as you may know, is a professional pester. I am a pester wannabe. I rent myself out for people who need.
You're a pester in training.
Yes. I am a volunteer pester that goes out and helps people solve problems. But what I've learned about these slugs is that they are remarkably accurate, but because the tin does not react the same way, we call it terminal ballistics. They're not going to mushroom. They're not going to transmit energy into the target as well as lead. Lead, to me, is the perfect solution for a projectile because it offers you all of those characteristics that we want as people who want to, if we're going to terminate an enemy, we want to do it quickly.
Quickly and humane.
We want it to be over quickly. As much as I hate rats, and believe me, I have a very deep-seated hatred for rodents. They've cost me a lot of money on my farm. I still want to end them quickly and not prolong a lot of suffering on their part.
Even though they've made you suffer.
Oh my God. But,
yes.
The Zahn slugs are ridiculously accurate. They do offer you a non-lead solution for people who live in purgatory. I mean, California. And they give you a solution that works. You just have to make sure that you are ready as a shooter because you need a headshot. I say I love to go feed the hawks when I go out. And, if you get a clean headshot on a ground squirrel with a Zahn slug, it's lights out.
So you got to follow pellet principle.
Yes.
That's basically what that is. Headshots with a pellet. Same with these ons.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Good to know.
It's the way you get around that lower terminal performance and get the job done. And luckily with the Zon, you're not rolling the dice with whether or not you're going to hit.
Yeah.
If you do your job, it's going where you set it. And they are remarkable. And I know that he has greatly expanded his distribution. Pyramid Air is now a distributor for them, which is absolutely epically huge. And I'm hopeful that Target Forge actually gets to stock the non-lead product in California and be able
exciting.
To provide that quickly to our California customers who, they just shot so many ground squirrels they need an emergency reload. So,
and just so you guys know, Bill didn't tell me that. I'm learning that as you are learning that right now. That congratulations on that, Bill. Well,
it's something that's been in motion for a while, and I actually I got crickets from our friends at Pyramid Air at the sales level, the wholesale sales level, and I mentioned that to Zon this weekend, and he said, "You know what? Let me take care of that for you."
Wow, that literally just happened?
Yeah, it did. It did. He went and barked up somebody's tree and said, "You have to contact him. He's got a great story about these non-lead products," which a lot of people could care less about. They're like, "Why would I shoot non-lead when I've got lead?"
Unless you need to shoot non-lead.
Unless you're forced to shoot non-lead, it doesn't matter. But when it does, it's an excellent.
You have an option now.
It's an excellent choice.
Okay, that's exciting.
We have the incomparable Cecil Bays today, and we're going to jump into that interview right about now.
All right, Bill, I snagged another one.
You got a big fish this time.
This took a little bit to reel in. I've been reeling for a while.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much. I had to be speedy on that one.
I don't think we've ever had someone named Cecil on our podcast.
We have not.
So welcome, Cecil. We are absolutely pleased to have you join us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, too. I don't run into a lot of Cecils. I actually do have a Cecil that works in the warehouse, though.
Really?
So, yeah, surprise, surprise.
Wow. That's outstanding.
That's crazy. So, Cecil, since you're the first time ever coming on the Airgun Geeks podcast, who are you?
Okay, so Cecil Bays. I'm the operations manager at Hatsan USA now. I started out in air gunning, just shooting out the side of the garage, shooting postal bench rest with my old Crossman brake barrel, like a lot of us started out. And, started watching videos on YouTube, and then I was like, oh, well, these PCP guns are pretty cool. This is new technology. And so then
It must have been a Ted's holdover video.
He was some of them. Yeah. Some of, Airgun Web and stuff, Rick Utzler, a couple others and stuff.
Yep.
And it was probably pre-Rick Ream, I think, really, before he got into YouTube. I can't even remember what year it is at this point. It's been so long and so much going on. But and then I bought my first air gun. It was a BAM B50 in 177.
Wow.
Bought it from Mike over at Flying Dragon.
Wow.
And got started and haven't looked back. My wife, when I bought it, she's like, I showed her a picture of the gun, and I was like, this is the gun I'm going to get. And she's like, oh, that's cool. And then it showed up UPS the next day, and she was like, you didn't say you bought it.
Yeah.
So her and the kids gave me a ration about it, and I told them, look, I'm going to start an airgun club. I'm going to build a market, open a airgun shop, make money at this. I'm going to make a living at this. This is our ticket. And they laughed and laughed and laughed. And I started an airgun club with Rick Utzler there in Lake Havasu City. Didn't open a shop, but started working with Rick, doing videos, Airgun Web TV. Helped out a little bit on some stuff for American Air Gunner and stuff. And then eventually Blaine over at Hatsan USA invited me over there he's like, hey, I need some help getting some work done. Can you come out? You're knowledgeable, the product. Can you help us out? And I was like, okay, sure. So I went out there for about 2 weeks and helped them out. And I did that a couple of times. I lived in Arizona, flew to Arkansas, flew back. And then I was helping them with SHOT Show in 2017, I think it was.
That was my first SHOT Show that I went to, was 2017.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's an experience, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those bucket list things. If you can get in there,
Oh, yeah.
you got to be industry, but if you can get in there, it's an experience. And he, proposed to me that I come out there and go to work for him full time, and talked it over with the wife, and she said, well, you're going to have a long commute. So, but she's like, this is your dream. This is the vision that you had. So, I'll support it. And so I went out there, and it was just me, and I would go back every couple of months. I'd spend a couple weeks back in Havasu, and eventually Jennifer and the family moved out to Arkansas with me, and I've been at Hatsan ever since. It's been since 2017.
Wow.
Outstanding. Have you been to Turkey?
I have not been to Turkey yet.
Oh, my gosh.
It'll happen eventually, but it's just, COVID and, all the other stuff.
Yeah, I hear you.
And, the market blew up during COVID we also do escort shotguns, so we've got firearms and air guns.
Okay.
So we've got all that stuff going on. So the market blows up, and we got orders out the yin yang, and we're just trying to keep up with it.
Got work to do.
Yeah, exactly. I've got my portion of it. I run the warehouse, service, shipping and receiving, all that. That's my area of responsibility. Mm-hmm. So going to Turkey and all that is not high on my priority list right now, or the priority list that's given to me. I want to go over there. I want to see the factory.
Right.
But maybe make it to Ewo one year.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
But yeah, I mean, we do all that, and then I've started doing competitions and stuff, and I did that on my own before Hatsan, and so that's kind of a bonus, for Hatsan bringing me on, because I'm actually an air gunner.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm not just some guy off the street with a degree that can manage a warehouse and all that. So it's good for me. It's kind of a dream job.
Yeah.
I can't complain. I get paid to go to RMAC. I get paid to go on hunts. So I can't complain about that. There's a lot of admin stuff in the middle there that you kind of have to deal with.
Yeah.
Well, you got to pay the bills, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not always a dream job, but most of the time it is.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I've had a few Hatsans in my day. In fact, when Airgun Depot did their famous golf ball challenge,
Yes, I
where
remember.
you had to shoot the golf ball, I did that with a Galatian.
Oh yeah, that's a sweet gun. I still have my Galatian.
I had two of them, and I tricked them out. They were really nice. I noticed when I put the QE barrel on, it was super quiet. The gun itself, the report was gone, but I had this ping.
Yep. You get the
Ping.
cylinder ping, the valve
Every
ping.
time I'm like, I got to get rid of that. And then you guys said, oh, you need this regulator, and then it'll go away. It'll put a firewall between that. And absolutely, it did. And they became really nice shooting guns.
Yep. What you can also do is you take one of our large plunger seals and put it in the air cylinder, and it kind of causes a restriction, like a baffle in there, that'll get rid of that ping also.
Okay, so it just disperses that wave of energy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yep. It just creates a baffle for that sound wave, or
That
a
was
shock.
worth the price of the entire podcast, getting that little nugget from Cecil.
That is important.
The Hatsan hack to get rid of that ping.
That shows and proves why you should listen to the podcast.
Exactly.
Right there.
I agree.
The little snippets.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
So, anything? The Blitz has been quite popular.
Oh yes. That's our best seller for the last 2 years now, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then I saw you guys came out with that fancy large mag.
Yes. So it's double the capacity of the standard mags.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it really gives you 1 second of full auto per magazine. Yeah. Well, I mean, with a cyclic rate of 1,000 rounds per minute, if you had a big enough magazine, it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it kind of, there's not a lot of comparison to it in the market there, with the removable magazine and full auto and the shot count that we've got. So,
That's crazy.
Yeah, double is almost better in every case, unless it's like life sentence or something.
There you go.
Like that.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Bill, you crack me up. All right, so you are also a competitor here at RMAC.
A fierce one at that.
A fierce one.
Yeah.
So how many RMACs have you been to?
This is my third RMAC.
Third one. Okay. Okay, and this is the 5th year, if I calculate correctly.
I believe so,
Yeah.
because of the 1 year skip. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, I got to ask, what airgun you shooting?
So in the
It's
the,
top secret.
yes,
Not
in
released yet.
the bench rest, I shot the gun that's not available yet. The Factor Sniper. You've probably seen it on Facebook and
Yeah.
stuff. It's out there. So I've been testing it, and I brought it here. I actually wasn't going to shoot it, but the gun I was going to shoot, we had another shooter that I brought in to shoot for us, and his guns didn't make it. So the gun that I had tuned to shoot, I let him shoot it. So
That is another case of
Yep.
why competitors at airgun matches are so special.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Because you don't really see that very often in the firearms competition world.
no. Well, and we both would have shot the same gun, but the way it matched up, we didn't have enough time to get the one gun to the other guy. So I just you just shoot this one, and I'll shoot the other one. So
Well
Cool.
played, sir.
yeah,
Well,
thank you.
What caliber you shooting?
So I shot 35.
Okay.
The Factor bullpup that John was shooting was 30 caliber.
Okay.
So
Interesting. All right. How many competitions are you in?
So I'm shooting every competition. I'm in sportsman this year just because there was an open sportsman slot. That way I could shoot. And John's in the pro. I gave him my pro slot so he could shoot.
Very
So,
good.
So I mean, I'm not the best competitor in the world, or the most competitive, but I mean I shoot in the middle of the pack there, and I mean when you're shooting against several $1,000 guns with $1,000 or even less gun, and shooting in the middle of the pack, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So-
That meets our standards here at Airgun Geeks. Our motto for competitions is don't be last.
Right?
Anything
Yeah.
above that is gravy.
Yeah.
And you're actually way above our standards.
Well, I've accomplished not last so far. The speed competition, I wasn't planning on shooting, but they allowed the semi-autos this year. So I got out here and I had some blitz that I brought out for demo, and I asked Justin, I was like, if I promise not to put it in full auto, can I use the blitz? And he goes, yeah, of course you can. So I went ahead and threw a scope on it the night before and fired a few rounds downrange and took it out there and shot the speed competition with the blitz just for the fun of it.
Heck yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was looking to see if a blitz was out there. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think there were 2 semi-autos that I know of out there. I'm not sure what the other one. Oh, there were 3?
3.
Oh, okay.
2 Leshies and you.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm the one last year
Ah,
that made it to the finals.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
we shall see. But I'm here to have fun. That's my motto. I'm not moving from that, and I'm staying there.
That's the way to be about it. I mean, if it gets too competitive, it's work.
Yep.
Correct.
You're right. You're
Correct.
absolutely right. It's
Correct.
stress like work.
Yeah.
You're-
Yeah. And I mean, I work enough.
I know, right? So one of the other questions I ask, why, in your opinion, should someone come to RMAC, whether they're competing or not?
Oh, I mean, if you want to get information, you want to get those little tips and tricks like the plunger seal in the cylinder. I mean, this is a place to get it. You can talk to people from all over the world, all over the country, and they've shot every gun that you can imagine out there. Mm-hmm. So if you have a question, they can give it to you. And like you mentioned earlier, that competitors here in the airgun competitions are free to give information, not just let people use their guns, but we'll help each other. We'll spot for each other.
Yep.
And hey, this is how you can do better on the next stage. You don't see that in all the shooting competitions. It's really dog eat dog somewhere in some of them, but air gunning is everybody's pretty much a family.
Yep, I agree. And if you ask 5 air gunners a question, you're probably going to get 8 opinions.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But one of them will be right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll all have at least a little bit of correctness to them, a nugget in there. But But yeah.
Wow. Okay. So this is could be with about air guns, could be not. But what advice or encouraging words would you give all of our listeners? Just an overall thing, like
Doesn't have to be air gun
doesn't have to be
related,
air
could
gun
be-
thing.
Could be general life.
Well, I mean, kind of like the story I told earlier about how I got into it, if you have a dream, if you have a desire to do something, just commit yourself to it and, do it until it comes to fruition. A lot of people give up too easy. They'll quit. They'll, not try to fulfill their dreams, or it gets hard and you run into a tough spot. You just got to look to God, get strength, and ask God for strength, and keep driving on and achieve your goals. And it can happen. I mean, my story, to what point it is one of those success stories. And I thank God every day that I've had the opportunity to do this. That's the best advice I can give is don't give up, chase your dreams. But, you got to take care of your family and everything.
Yep.
So, yeah. And, I mean, the other thing about the air gun industry that's amazing, just totally amazing, is a few years back there was an accident, and my wife and my son got into an accident, and a lot of stuff happened. And the entire air gun industry came in to help us out.
Wow.
I mean, from manufacturers to just shooters to everything, offered all the help they could, and there's no way we could have gotten through it without it. I mean, we could have probably gotten through it, but not nearly as well as we did.
Right.
I was out of work for a month, just taking care of my wife in the ICU and stuff. So the airgunning community is very close-knit, and, there is competition, don't get me wrong, but I mean, like
That's what helps the sport grow.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but the guys from Umarex, the guys from Air Force, the guys and girls from Air Force, guys and girls from Umarex, and, all the manufacturers. We, we're competitive, but we're friendly. We, we help each other out when we see that it needs to be done and stuff. We aren't enemies,
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this industry, what I love about air gunning.
Yeah, it's one thing that Bill and I talk about a lot, and one of the big things you see here at RMAC, just as someone who just drop in for a day and just walk around and talk to everyone. I mean, you get face value. This is who they are, especially with influencers. You only know what they are on the screen, and you're like, how are they in real life? And a lot of them are real people.
Oh yeah, true. Most of the influencers out there are very genuine.
Yes.
You're going to get a few people, just like any other, influencer thing, that, they're kind of different when they're on camera than they are in person. Yep. But for the most part, they're all pretty dead on genuine.
Correct. All right. Well, I want to thank you for taking time. I know you've been running around like a chicken with its head cut off, competing and talking to people and spreading the word. And I really appreciate you taking time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And thanks for asking me to be on your podcast.
No problem. No problem. We'll be in touch, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you, Cecil.
Sounds
All
good.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
That was good.
All right. Do we know who's after Cecil?
Nope. That is down the road, and we figure out the layout of all this weekend.
All right. So do
Pyramid A Cup weekend.
we want to just wait on the bumper for
Yes.
Cecil?
I think that would be wise because we got time.
Yep.
And I'll be in and have a studio.
Okay.
All of our conversations should be recorded in. So we're like, refer to the recording, Pat. Oh, okay.
No, what we need is we need a direct feed to ChatGPT so that it can actually record everything that we say and create a list of notes for us automatically.
They could just create podcasts for us.
Yeah.
And then put a picture in there. Those are CGI created, Bob, Bill, and Pat. Wow, Pat's looking thinner.
Yeah, that's probably not where we need to go.
No.
Anyway, GoPro, stop recording.
Coming up on the next episode of the Airgun Geeks, we've got David from Black Arts Design. I had a chance to catch up with him at the PA Cup, and it was an absolutely delightful interview. We hope you'll join us for that one.
That was good. Don't forget to support Target Forge Targets
Yes.
for all your target needs and GX compressor needs
Yes.
and questions. If you want to support the channel, you can go to our Patreon page that we're building
Yep.
so that we have exclusive content for those members that have joined. You can help support the channel.
Yeah, and you get to see Patrick's OnlyFans.
My OnlyFans.
Great. No, I'm kidding.
You're cracking
I
me
wouldn't
up.
put anybody through that. We'd have to pay you for that.
And while you're shopping on Target, Bill, you kill me. On Target Forge Targets, you can use Super Geek 10 to save 10% and help support the channel.
Heck yeah.
And if you're a veteran, Bill's more than willing to also give you 10% off for any of the active and non-active, aka veterans,
Correct.
out there in the country.
Yep. Also, do consider joining the Target Forge channel on YouTube, because that little contribution every month helps us fund everything that we do. Yep. And do join the Airgun Geeks YouTube channel as well.
And if you ever want to have something covered or questions, don't be afraid to email us at airgungeeks@gmail.com.
Yes, and if you also want to sponsor this program or any of the other things that we do, definitely reach out and tell us how you want to work with us. We are more than happy to get your content viewed, and we are growing rapidly.
Yep. And like always, stay geeky.